So it's been just under a year since my mom, Dr. Annemarie Colbin, PhD, passed away. She was the founder of the Natural Gourmet Institute, and she wrote many books with wonderful recipes and also a lot of wisdom about how food affects your health. And so to honor her on the first year anniversary of her death, I thought I would make one of her favorite foods, which is leek and potato soup. So I'm going to start with a light vegetable stock, and this recipe for the stock and for the leek and potato soup are from her book, The Natural Gourmet. And this copy that I have is actually AC office copy, so I kind of feel like I've got her right here with me. And I'm going to start my stock with a bunch of food scraps. I've got some carrot scraps from a weekly organic veggie delivery that we get. I've got some onion peelings from a friend's garden, just locally. I'm going to throw some of those in there. I've got some scallions also from our weekly veggie delivery. I'm just going to use some of the bottoms of the scallions, and we'll use the scallions themselves for part of our dinner later on this evening. And then same thing, I've got a whole heap of celery leaves that I'm just going to chuck into this giant stock pot and use these to flavor it up. It's going to be a pretty strong celery flavor. Let's see, what else am I supposed to put in here? A half a teaspoon of dried thyme. I'll do that. We did manage to find most of this stuff organic, although not all of it. Oh. And I actually have a fancy teaspoon holder from Natural Gourmet, so I'm going to use that. Half teaspoon of dried thyme, and a half a teaspoon of dried marjoram. I didn't get organic marjoram, unfortunately. Oh well. My mom always said, do the best you can and then forgive yourself the rest. Half a teaspoon dried marjoram, 1 bay leaf. Didn't get organic bay leaf either, but that's all right. Forgive myself. 8 peppercorns. We do have organic peppercorns here, so that should be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. And then 1 5 to 6 inch piece of kombu seaweed. And I live in New Zealand, and I happened to find this beautiful wild harvested New Zealand kombu leaves, so I'm going to chuck one of those in there, and I think that's going to be pretty yum. And I'm going to fill up the pot with, it says 4 times the volume of the vegetables, and simmer for 35 to 40 minutes, and then from there I'll make the soup. Thanks. So we made our stock yesterday, and now I'm going to go ahead and make the soup. I'm starting with leeks. The recipe calls for 3 to 4 leeks. I've got 2 big ones and then 3 teeny ones. So I'm just going to do 5 leeks, but 3 of them are tiny, so I think that's okay. It asks to cut them lengthwise and then crosswise, and put them in a large bowl with cold water to wash them off. And I'm actually using a knife that I inherited from my mother. So I'm going to go wash these leeks and see you in a second. So I've cut and washed the leeks, and I have also peeled and diced 3 medium-sized potatoes. These are potatoes that are grown nearby in a place called Hororata. They're organic potatoes, and amazingly, these potatoes are called Anushka potatoes, which was actually my mother's nickname. So that's a little bit of serendipity that I managed to find these potatoes. So I've peeled and diced them, and now they go into a bowl of cold water, and then we're off to make the soup. All right, we're finally ready to make the soup. So here's our beautiful washed leeks. I've heated a tablespoon of olive oil in a large soup pot. And I'm just gonna saute these a little bit, 3 to 4 minutes, she says, until they become wilted. All right, so sauteed the leeks 3 to 4 minutes until wilted. And now it's time to add my diced potatoes, my diced Anushka potatoes. and 6 cups of the vegetable stock that I made earlier. I just used my blender to measure 6 cups. Makes life pretty easy and easy to pour. And 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And I think the recipe also gives you the option of a tablespoon of vegetable salt. So I'm going to stir this up, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, cover it, and let it simmer for 25 to 30 minutes. So we've cooked up the soup for about half an hour, poured half of it in the blender and blended it up. And now we're just going to mix the two back together. Stir it up a little bit. Ladle it into a bowl. A little bit of parsley as a garnish. And a little lashing of pepper. That's it. Leek and potato soup. Love you, Mom. Miss you.